Here I am, the favorite place in the condo, the bathroom. I don't know why I say that. Hey, I just installed, what is this video about anyways? I just installed this pedestal sink, and I've got videos of that on my channel and on my these episodes. If you've been watching these episodes religiously on the condo renovation episode, I don't know how many this is, but I just went ahead and got done caulking. Doesn't that look nice? Look at that. I think I did pretty good, if I say so myself. See there? And I also did this front edge nice and clean. Yes. Okay, but that's not what this video is about. I've been cleaning the tub, the top edge of a tub, and I'm going to re-caulk that, and that's what this video is about. I wasn't even going to make a video of this, but you know, I thought might as well. I'm going to be in there working, and so let me get this thing off. I can't have music on while I'm here, or else they'll not monetize my video. Okay, this is a fiberglass tub. Doesn't that edge look nice and clean? Well, they had some caulking, and they did a pretty good job. They got some caulking about the same color as the grout, but it's cracked over time. I cleaned it all out. I'm glad it was caulking and not grout, because I cleaned it out with a nice little putty knife, razor blade. I got the razor blade nice and clean so that there's no little edge where the caulking was, and took my crummy little paintbrush. I use this thing for all kinds of stuff. I just use it to do some paint touch-up. Look at that, it's a throwaway paintbrush. I use it as a little broom. Got that all cleaned up, and now I'm ready to install the caulking. And what kind of caulking am I using? The same stuff that I used around that sink downstairs. Here, this is what I'm using. DAP Quick Seal Ultra, and it's gloss white. It's for kitchen, bath, and plumbing. It's advanced siliconized sealant, repels water, soap, scum, stains, and dirt. 100% waterproof and crack proof. It says it's crack proof. We'll see. Sealant stays looking clean, fresh, and new. That's what I like about this stuff. It's silicone. It's not designed to be painted over, so when you put it on, you got to put it on nice and clean and get the excess off. And I've got a small little tip, and I wanted to do it today. After you use your caulking, if you got half a tube left and you got a small little tip, good luck 6 months from now thinking you're going to get this caulking out of this tube through a small little tip like that. You may have to take a drill bit and drill down through there. I usually like to poke it with this thing here, see? But even then, you poke it, and then all you're doing is taking the hard caulking that's inside here, this neck, and you're kind of pushing it down in here. So as you're trying to caulk, again, a little bit of the caulking comes out, and then it gets plugged up, and then you have to keep poking, and then pretty soon you have to dig this out, and the tip's not as nice as it used to be. I wish they made all of the caulk tubes to where you can unscrew this end. Then you could clean this end out, you know what I mean, down to here. Some tubes, I've seen that, but most regular caulking tubes don't have that. Okay, so I've got some what do you want to call them, napkins to wipe my fingers off. I've got a bucket of water here. Okay, I'm not really going to use too much water, but I want to keep my sponge wet a little bit, and there's a rhyme to the reason. You know, as I go as I go, I want to keep this caulking off of everything else, so I'll have a wet finger after a while. And as I cut that tip, I put a black felt tip marker on the edge so I know which edge is there, because a lot of times it gets turned sideways, you may not know it, and as you're putting it down you're like, okay, what's happening here? You have to keep looking at the tip to make sure it's coming out straight. Well, I don't have to do that because I got the felt tip pin on there. And I'm just going to start right there. And I go back and forth like this. Okay? Now I can control exactly where it goes. Some painters, you know, they try to just put one quick long bead and be done with it. You know? But I like to kind of do this. And I'm trying to get it on a happy medium. I'm thinking I might have to put it on a little bit thicker when I first started, but we'll see. See, that gives me the right consistency, doesn't it? Okay, I don't have to go any further than that for right now, because from here I'm gonna stop, and then I'm gonna go back this direction, because I don't like to go straight and then try to keep going that way. Now I want to go from my tip this direction. In fact, why don't I just do that from here? I'm going to wrap it around this corner. I'm trying to keep it on about the same thickness. And is there a right and wrong way to do caulking? Yeah, I'll show you in a minute. I gotta get this on. If you get it on too much, that's okay. Just keep her going. See, I got a little bit extra on there, more so than this side. Good Lord. All right, I'm gonna wipe that off. And see, this silicone gets all over if you don't keep wiping it off your finger. Okay, so I'm going to take my napkin and clean that off. I want to try to keep it off of my finger. I'm going to build this up just a hair more. Okay, and I'll be able to. I want a nice. I don't want the edge too thin, but I don't want it too thick either. Okay, so now I'm just kind of trying to add a little bit. If I get it too thin, it's really not going to do what it's supposed to do, because it's going to be easier for it to crack. And I know it said it's not supposed to crack. Okay? You want to press that a couple times when you have a new tube. Okay? Because it keeps wanting to spill out. Alright? Okay. Now, my finger is clean. I've got a little bit of wetness on there, and my first go, I'm not going to do it perfect. I've got more pressure down on the tub than on the wall. Okay, I'm just cleaning up. I'm putting more pressure down at the bottom, and I'm not even doing anything at the top just yet. Okay. When I feel it's building up on my finger, I'm going to take it off. Now I want to wipe some off the tub, the tile. So now I'm pressing on that. See, and when I get done, it's going to look straight. Trust me. Okay, and if you put too much and you just go over it in one big old amount, you're going to get it way up high in your grout lines on your tile and all that. So that's why when it builds up on my finger a little bit, I'm going to take it off. Okay? I'm still not pressing all the way tight, because I don't want it to come out too much on the tub. Okay, so far. And when I get to there, I'm going to come back with my other finger, same finger on the left-hand side. Okay. You don't want to get that silicone caulking all over the place, okay? You just don't want to do that, trust me. Okay, now I'm going to get my finger wet a little bit. And now I'm going to, it's just going to help that silicone kind of go right where it's supposed to go. See, I don't even have any on my finger really. And I got it about the same height. See? Now I'm going to get my other finger wet on this side and go some more. When you get it wet, it allows that caulking to slide right down where you want it. And you see, it's not even sticking on my finger, and I got about the right amount. Now I'm going to look at it. I'm going to look at it and see. I'm just getting my finger a little wet again and see what I need to do. Now I'm pressing in a little bit harder, and that's moving the caulking just a little bit. And this 100% silicone is working out really good. Okay. There. I'm liking that. Wow. Okay. That's all I'm gonna do. Because my finger was wet, that allowed me to clean it off the tile, to clean it off the tub and stuff. You don't want to just put it on there and just keep wiping all the way. Then it gets fatter and fatter on your finger, and you build up an edge up high on your tile, down low on your tub and all that. So see there? Now I'm going to go some more. And I think you saw it. Yeah, you saw that. Okay, so now I'm going to go some more. I'm right-handed, and so I'm going to just go from here over a little ways, and I'm going to do it the same way. Okay? Did you see anything hard about that? The tricky part is you've got to have a thin tip cut at an angle and not putting it on too much, you know? Not putting it on too much. And it helps. See, if I do this, I don't know, it just kind of seems like I can get it. Plus I'm pushing it in underneath. And I'm keeping the edge about the same all the way. And I have to press a little bit more if your gap between your bottom of your tile and your tub is a little bit, it's pushing it underneath. I'm looking at that line, trying to keep the line about the same consistency. Okay, and I'm going to go just a little more. Try going back and forth like this. You'll see it. You know, it takes a little bit longer than just putting one big old line of caulking. But sometimes as you're going like that, maybe it wants to skip or something like that. See, keep doing that. Keep watching your tip, because depending, sometimes caulk different tubes, you depress the end and you think you're fine, and then a couple minutes later you go back and you set this down on your countertop, and you got a big old spooge of this coming out. You're like, hey, I pressed it, but it keeps wanting sometimes to have pressure on there. God forbid you set it on your carpet and you lay it down and you don't have a rag underneath it or a paper towel or something like that. You look back and now you got it all on your floor. Okay, so now I'm just going to get this sponge kind of wet. I mean, I'm going to do it with my finger mainly dry, and I don't want to pull buildup of too much caulking from before, you know what I mean? Because then that's gonna drag it. That's gonna drag your caulking. And see, because I didn't do a whole lot, I don't have a lot of actual buildup just yet. You see what I mean? But I felt it on my finger. I could close my eyes and do it and know when I've got to back off it and stop and not go any further. Okay? So now I can go some more. I'm keeping more pressure down at the tub. So that line stays pretty straight. I hardly got any on there, see? And I really don't want to get too much on my sponge, but then I clean my sponge out because that's 100% silicone, and if I left it on the sponge like that, it's going to dry. Now I got more pressure on the other side of my finger on the tile, okay? And less on the tub right now, okay? All that did was kind of move the caulking down a little bit. Okay, now I can depress just a hair more on the top, and it's feeling nice and even, Steven. Look at that. And because I have just a little bit of a wetness on my finger, it slides right over that 100% silicone. And if you try to do silicone with a dry finger, good luck with that. Okay. After a while, you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay. And I've got my little screwdriver here. I've got just a little up high on the grout. You know, not a whole lot, but just enough to where I can clean that up with my screwdriver. And that looks way better. Okay. All right. And now I'm looking at it some more, seeing if I need to depress it just a hair more, where there was an inconsistency right there. I'm liking that. Okay, with my finger wet, I don't have anything on here. I'm just pushing it down. You see? I'm almost halfway done with the tub now, and I'm going to get you in there a little bit closer. I'm just going to hold you down in here. You see? I mean, it almost looks like you know what you're doing. And hey, I'm not a professional painter. I never claimed to be, but I know how to do it, and I know how to install caulking and stuff. There's a right and wrong way for pretty much anything. Okay? So you take your time and you just follow and do a few different steps. You'll have it nice and clean on here, and you won't have to do much cleanup. You won't have to get a razor blade out later and clean off on the tile and clean off on the tub, and then you leave an edge where your caulking is, and your caulking is high and low, and it's spooged up higher where the grout lines are. I don't have any of that. Okay, so I'm going to keep going, and I may show you a little bit more over here towards the end, but I'm going to keep her going here. Actually, I'll do one more section. I'll do one more section with you. Now see, I'm getting up into the back here, and there's only so far I can go going this direction like this. See, I can only go to about here. And then I'll turn around and go from left to right. Do you see what I mean? Okay, so I'm kind of backed up into a corner here. And I want to maintain that same height, right? So I'm just going to keep putting it on like I was before. Kind of eyeballing it as I go, back and forth like that. My bead is about the same. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. Press that a couple times. Make sure my finger's wet. Get the sponge wet. Clean off the stuff on my sponge. Have my napkin ready and all that. Okay. And the first thing I'm going to do is take that, and now I'm feeling a buildup on my finger. Okay, so I've got to stop. See, I got all that. I don't want to keep going with that, you know what I mean? Or else it's just going to build up and it's not going to be a pretty sight if I don't get it off, okay? Now that's looking really good right there. But I'm going to do it once over with just a damp finger. I'm going to take a look at it. It looks like it's just a hair high. So I'm going to put more pressure on my top of my finger on the tile, and all that's done is clean that off. Okay? Now I'm doing at the bottom. My finger is tight down onto the tub, and I can just go along there. I can basically close my eyes and do it. Now I see right at my transition, it's just a hair low, not hardly by much, but I'm going to fix it. Okay? Where your transitions are, you don't want the transitions, do you? Okay, now I'm just going to kind of blend that in. I should have put that finger amount on my napkin, right? But see, I do this on regular caulking that's not 100%. I can do that and wipe it on my sponge. But I'll get my sponge wet in a minute before I go any further. Okay, and then that'll take off this silicone, and I won't get my sponge all jacked up, you know, for the rest of the time. Okay, I'm just depressing a little bit to kind of blend that little section in, and I've done it. I've done it, by Joe. And now I'm just using my finger. I'm not taking any off, but my finger's kind of cleaning off the surface of the tub. Okay, like that. And the surface on the tile as I'm doing it there, and now the tub. Okay, and there you go. Now I'm gonna rinse this out. Press my caulking gun, and you know, this sponge will last me. It'll be fine. Okay, see? It'll be fine, even though that was 100% caulking. Okay, 100% silicone caulking. Okay, so now I'm going to go from the corner and go from left to right. Okay, and then when I do the corner, I kind of wrap it around just about an inch or so. So when I take my finger, I can go whoosh, like that. It's hard to start and stop at the inside corner for that wall, and then start and stop at the inside corner with your finger there. You have to take your finger and kind of wrap it around, you know, to make it look nice and curvy and smooth. Okay, time to do some more. I'll see you in a minute and show you what it looks like. You know, use up that caulking when you can, because this caulk tube is never going to be the same 3 months from now when this tip is all dry. Even 3 weeks from now, it's not going to be the same tube. I'm going to have to cut that. I'm going to have to clean it out. I'm going to have to spooge some out, and then the old pieces will come out. Then I got to pull those out, and I'm going to lose about this much caulking in the entire container to get this all to where it's clean. You never want to start using your caulking if this is all dry, and then you poke it with this and stuff, and then you come down on your tub and you start trying to do a finished edge, because trust me, after a while your old pieces are going to want to come out, and then they're going to screw up the rest of the stuff that you just put on, and you're going to be like, okay, yeah, now I know what he's talking about, what VideoJoe's talking about. And then you got to pull all that stuff up, clean it off, make sure that your tip is going nice and clean, and then start some more, okay? Remember that.